was announced in 2015 that a movie based on the popular mobile game Cut the Rope was going to be made, which was named Om the Movie, and it would be coming out in the latter part of 2016. Om the main character, tells the tale of Evan, who is a 13-year-old boy who accidentally opens a package containing Om himself. Om, now free to roam, starts to cause havoc in this once quiet town. Evan, along with Jordan, his younger sister, must follow Om on an epic adventure while avoiding numerous government agents, sketchy characters, and other unusual creatures, all of whom are trying to capture Om for themselves. Since late 2016, no details about the movie have been revealed. The Cut the Ropes franchise creator Zeptolab would collaborate with Blockade Entertainment to produce this movie. Om is also listed as being in development on Blockade's official website, so it's not fully known if this movie has been shelved or if it's been cancelled. Butch Hartman created the Nickelodeon animated series The Fairly OddParents, which ran from 2001 to 2017. The protagonist of the show was a young boy named Timmy Turner, who with the aid of his fairy godparents Cosmo and Wanda is able to grant any wish. The show was extremely popular, running for 10 seasons and surpassing SpongeBob SquarePants as the longest running Nicktoon. The season 4 episode Crash Nebula, which debuted on July 2nd, 2004, was supposed to be the pilot for a spin-off focusing on Crash Nebula, who is a superhero who has appeared on the show numerous times. Due to the success of the pilot, Hartman and Paramount Pictures considered producing a movie to complement the series in the period between 2005 and 2006. However, for reasons that are currently unknown, both the series and the movie were cancelled. Although it hasn't been confirmed, it has been speculated that the movie's cancellation was brought on by its numerous similarities to the Disney film Sky High from 2005. Also, the original pilot was incorporated into The Fairly OddParents on the 10th episode of the 5th season. The series and movie have little to no chance of ever being released, and aside from the pilot, nothing from the rest of the series or the movie has come to fruition, given how Hartman left Nickelodeon in early 2018. From 1994 to 2008, the animated talk show parody Space Ghost Coast to Coast was broadcasted. The show is notable for being the first fully produced Cartoon Network original series as well. There isn't much of the series that hasn't been made available online or on home media. One tiny piece, though, has never again been found. In the 6th season Snatch episode, Space Ghost, Zorak and Moltar were imprisoned in a studio with 3 pods that, if they fell asleep, would replicate and eat them. After the 3 of them finally fall asleep, the episode ends with the cliffhanger by cutting to black. When the show first aired, it was followed by a live-action scene in which a colonial man addressed the audience, telling them that if they wanted to know how it ended, they should bid on a script for the real ending on eBay, in which all proceeds go to charity. It is understandable that the scene was removed from later broadcast, because it was irrelevant after the auction was over. Even though the original scene of the colonial man can be seen on the out-of-print Volume 5 DVD, it was replaced with a black screen and some animated text that read "The End." The script, however, cannot be said to be the same. It ultimately sold for over $1,000 to an unidentified passionate fan who allegedly placed the winning bid, and has never again surfaced in any capacity, whether official or unofficial. It is unknown if the eBay user who placed the highest bid 21 hours before the auction's end actually won. A screenshot from the auction shows that user Broly22 had the highest bid. The only publicly available information on the script is what was stated in the Colonial Man scene and the eBay listing, which is of course incredibly limited. Nobody, aside from the writers and the winning bidder, has access to the script as of this recording. Kid Kirby was a Kirby game that Scottish developers DMA Design was supposed to make. The game was supposed to include a young Kirby with a pink curl. Additionally, the Super NES mouse would have been used to operate it. The Super Nintendo mouse would have been used to drag and launch Kirby to move through levels in a platformer similar to Angry Birds. According to concept art, the plot would have included a much younger Kirby and a King Dedede who would have been around Kirby's age. The plot was probably never fully developed as well, and the game was shelved because of years of ineffective development, which ultimately led Nintendo to shelve the project because it was taking too long. Production may have also been shelved because of the SNES mouse's weak sales outside of Intelligent Systems Mario Paint. The game was subsequently cancelled and was not in any way leaked online. Mike Daly, a developer who worked on Kid Kirby and posted online sprites for the game, claims it has vanished. The only remaining visuals for the game come exclusively from Mike Daly's Flickr account, where he shared sprites and concept art. Theodore Geisel, better known as Dr. Seuss, wrote only one film, which is The 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T, which was produced in 1953. The actual movie itself is not lost. However, Sony Pictures hasn't been able to locate a copy of the film's original cut, which apparently had a darker tone and twice as many musical numbers, so it's completely lost. The screenplay, which is 1,000 pages long and much longer than the typical movie screenplay, has been discovered but has not yet been made public. Dr. Seuss may have contributed to the film's disappearance because, prior to his passing, he criticized the movie and purposely left it out from his autobiography. The film's main story focuses on a boy named Bart, who dreams himself into a fantasy world taken over by a piano teacher who enslaves children to practice piano forever. Due to negative feedback from the test audience, the movie underwent numerous changes before it was released. Of the 24 original musical numbers, 13 were completely cut from the production, leaving only 11. Every musical number had been filmed before the removal, and it's unknown if the video is still around today. While the current version of the movie only lasts 89 minutes, the original version is said to have been 139 minutes long. One song also received some censorship. The phrase gas chambers was removed from the elevator song because it might have been taken as a reference to the Holocaust. While neither the screenplay or any of the cut footage is available, all of the songs cut from the film can still be heard on the limited edition CD soundtrack release online in the bootleg vinyl record, which includes the song in the film today and most of the cut songs. Grand Theft Auto 64 was a version of the PlayStation game Grand Theft Auto that was never released for the Nintendo 64. The port was abandoned before it was made public for unknown reasons, but it is said to have included improved graphics, new levels, and new characteristics. It was apparently half finished when it was shown at E3 1999, but no footage of it was ever made public. It was also long believed that the port didn't even exist, until Lucci on Assembly Games posted a scan of a Spanish N64 magazine containing screenshots of the cancelled game. The American computer animated film Cars 3 was created by Pixar. It is a follow-up in the Cars series and was released on June 15, 2017. Like many films, Cars 3 had a lot of deleted scenes that displayed its early versions. One infamous deleted scene is missing, despite the fact that almost all of the deleted scenes were included in the home release. The scene in question is a flashback to a time when Lightning McQueen was competing against Doc Hudson, before Doc Hudson fell ill and passed away. But since Owen Wilson attempted suicide in 2007, and Paul Newman passed away in 2008, the scene was deemed to be too depressing and had to be cut. The scene has never been seen and is only mentioned in news articles and on the TV tropes page for the movie, but it will most likely never have a release because it is deemed to be too depressing. Jim Henson, Jerry Joel, and Frank Oz had the idea for the cheapest Muppet movie ever made in 1985, but it was never produced. A number of attempts have been made to get the movie made, most recently by Disney in 2009, but none of them made it past the screenplay stage due to financial constraints. That screenplay, though confirmed to have existed in several drafts, has never been seen again. In a 1998 interview with Muppet Central, veteran Muppet writer Jewel provided the following description of the movie. There was a project for a Muppet movie that we kept returning to. Jim and I worked on it and just loved it. It grew out of the fact that Jim was talking about finances, and if we did another Muppet movie at the time, it would need to be done inexpensively since we are using a bigger and bigger budgets for all of our other projects. So we conceived of a movie slated as the cheapest Muppet movie ever made. That was the original working title, and that later became the subtitle with a title along the lines of Into the Teeth of the Demons of Death. Every now and then we still bring up the movie. 6 months ago Frank had said to me, "You know there's still something in that movie, it would be a lot of fun to do." One thing that kept it from happening though was that for the cheapest Muppet movie ever made, it still turned out to be expensive to shoot. Things like a tranquil island blowing up with a volcano and such. The next time the movie was mentioned in the media was at D23 in September 2009, when it was revealed to be the upcoming Muppet movie. However, the Muppets from 2011 eventually took its place. Frank Oz also discussed the movie during a Reddit AMA. When Dick Cook was head of Disney, he asked me to get involved with the Muppet movie. So because the previous script was dated from being written 40 years ago, I did rewrite it with the help of Jim Lewis. And personally, I love it, and I wish it could be made. But maybe its time now is gone because it feels like Disney would like to go its own way. No copies of the screenplay have surfaced in any format, with the exception of the various memories of those involved in a title card displayed at D23.